What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Outpost. Here with my good friend Vic. He was able to make it back today. We got rained out actually last time that we were trying to shoot the safety video. So anyway, he made some time to come up again today, be with y'all. You know, a few important topics that we wanted to share with you because people that are outdoors, camping, hiking, whatever it is that they're doing, there's dangers. And we wanted to talk about in the safety series that some of the dangers that are involved with outdoor activities. And if you're out in the bush somewhere, especially several days away, you may not have access to quick access to EMS like you do, you know, from a day-to-day basis. So anyway, today we're going to talk about controlling a bleed. All right, there's a lot of different tools that hikers use. A lot of them use poles. You know, they may have spikes on the bottom. They may use some sort of climbing gear, you know, they may have cleats on the bottom of their shoes, they may have knives on them, you know, axes, camping out, saws, things like that, you know. So I got a few of the tools out. This is something very common that's used in outdoor activity. This is also something that's very common. This right here is a camp saw that folds up, and it is very easy to slip with this and actually hurt yourself very seriously because this thing is so sharp it'll cut through almost like a chainsaw. It's just manual. So it's very easy to take off a digit with one of these. My son recently, he was here. He was splitting wood with this axe right here. This is extremely sharp. And I had warned him about, you know, holding the wood and actually using the axe, and he was being very careful. But this axe is so sharp, and the wood, once it gave way, once the fibers broke, it just was free falling, and it caught the tip of his finger, and it just filleted it. Filleted it open. I actually had to go to the ER, and it took 4 stitches. So, want to first of all say, when you're using these kind of tools, be extremely careful, all right? And second of all, what do you do in the event that something was to happen? So let's say that we were at the camp and maybe we had our knife out here in our line of work. What are some of the types of knife or laceration type accidents have you seen?
I've seen quite a few. One actually using a knife. He had came from about the crease in his elbow all the way down to his hand, and he laid it all open.
I mean, we hear some crazy stories too about, well, how did you do that? Well, you know, and then they tell you, you know, so crazy things can happen. I've seen one girl that was up on a stool actually changing a bulb in a chandelier. She somehow or another cracked it, it fell down, it hit her calf, and it laid it open about 8 inches long, and you could see all the way to the bone. The meat was just hanging out. I'm not trying to be gory. I'm just trying to say these are some of the things that we actually see. You know, we see puncture wounds, we see all different kinds of things. So let's say that we actually cut our arm open, okay? So what is the first thing that you're probably going to do? You're going to see it, and probably your knee-jerk reaction is going to do this, which that is correct, is to apply direct pressure, okay, to try to control that bleed. Now, it's better if we have a sterile dressing on there, okay? But in the event that you're not close to it, and chances are you're not going to have it in your back pocket, what you need to do is you need to take your hand and you need to cover that immediately and try to stop that bleed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this right here, okay? The second thing that I'm going to do is what he got is a sterile bandage, and you're going to try to put this on there, and then we're going to continue to apply pressure, all right? What we want to do is we want to put a pressure dressing. We want some sort of gauze that we're going to go around the compress with, and we kind of want it tight, all right? We want it as tight as possible to be able to keep that blood in check, okay? If it continues to bleed through this, what we want to do is we want to put another one on top of that. Then we would go around again. If we put another one on there if we have to and go around again. But sooner or later, if it keeps going, all right, you don't have enough pressure. That cut is so bad that no matter how much pressure you put on there, you're still losing blood. You don't want to lose a great deal of blood, because then you may go into some sort of shock. All right, so in the event that you have put a couple of these dressings on there and it continues to bleed, then your next thought may be some sort of a tourniquet. Okay, we've got two types of tourniquets here. Okay, this one is called a CAT tourniquet, or a combat application tourniquet. Right. This is the portion right here that you actually turn once you get this on the arm, the extremity, or whatever, and this goes through here. You feed it back around, the Velcro comes back in, then you twist this, and we'll show you how to lock it. The other one that he's got, he can show you that that one basically is pretty much just stretchy, and you start it, you get it started, and then you pull, wrap, and pull. Anyway, so let's assume that this is continuing to bleed. I'm not able to stop it. I put a couple of layers of this on there, but I'm still losing blood. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start that. I'll help him.
I'm not going to do it too tight on him, but you want to do this as tight as possible.
Right now we've got this applied. Our blood has stopped. See the veins popping out on my arm right there? It's pretty tight. Our blood has stopped. Okay, another thing that we might want to do is we might want to hold it a little bit higher than our heart. Okay, because this will cause the blood to try to flow uphill, which is a whole lot harder than it is to flow downhill. But anyway, if we have to, you know, maybe we can wrap our arm up here just so that we don't have to hold it up like this. But anyway, get it higher than your heart's all I'm trying to say. And this is something that you can actually order and put it in your backpack, or hiking, you know, if you're hiking, and actually have that with you in the event that something serious was to happen like that, because you can only lose so much blood. Now, the combat tourniquet, what he wants to do is he's going to open that up, he's going to run that around my arm, or actually I'll just stick my arm through it.
You want to pull it tight before you Velcro it shut. I'm not going to do it too tight just for this demonstration. And this is your windlass, and you're going to actually
got that through there. Okay.
Spin this around. I'm not going to do it too tight for this, but you're going to want to keep spinning it around until that blood flow stops, and you're going to tuck it into these little tabs.
Let me show you this little tab right here. See that little tab? This is going to tuck right underneath that. And what this is for right here is this is to go right across so that this thing doesn't pop back out. Okay? And what you can do with this is just take this, run it right on through, stick it through anyway, just so that the loose end is not hanging around there. And now you've got this tourniquet right here, which is stopping the blood from running on down through here and coming out that cut. Okay, another thing that when you're out there, if you don't actually have the combat tourniquet, if you don't have the stretch wrap, what you can do is you can actually take a piece of string like this, you can run it through. You don't want to tighten it too much, but you want to have both ends tied, and then what you will do is you'll take this string, this stick, go through there and start twisting. Okay.
Same concept of spinning it just like the cat tourniquet.
Now what I have done is I have locked that off, and what we want to do is we want to take, if we've got any extra cordage, tie that around where this will not come undone. But the extremities are the only places that you're going to be able to place a tourniquet. Okay? If you have got some sort of puncture wound here, the only thing that you're going to be able to do is to anything that you've got, whether it's shirts, underwear, clothing, any type of clothing, if you've got rags, if you've got padding like this or whatever, let's say that the knife was stuck in somewhere. Let's say that the knife was stuck in here, okay, in my chest. We do not want to take that out, okay? What we want to do is we want to try to pad where this is at. And we may have to make some sort of like donut, okay? But what we're doing is we're going to go around that, and we're trying to pad as much as we can around this, okay, and tape it off to try to control that bleed, but do not remove that. If you've got a stab wound, puncture wound, don't remove that object. The only time we ever remove it is if it gets in the way of us doing CPR. We're going to move on to allergic reaction. Now here's another thing that people may not think about, but it does happen. It happens quite often. You're out, you're hiking, you're camping, or you're just walking somewhere, maybe out in the park. You don't know it, but you walk across a yellow jacket's nest. All right? You got a swarm of about 50 or 100, and they all sting you primarily at the same time. If you're the type of person that's sensitive to that, what are you going to do? So my point is this. A lot of people, if they know that they're allergic to bee stings and things like that, they carry an EpiPen. If you're a hiker or if you're a camper, you might want to think about going to your primary care physician and saying, hey, I'm going to be gone for a period of time. I would like for you to prescribe me an EpiPen just in the event that I come across some sort of an allergic type reaction to something that I'm going to get into out in the woods. Because it's not that uncommon to walk to a yellow jacket. They like to build their nest in the ground in holes where tree stumps, or live trees, maybe if they got a decaying or a section of it that is gone and they bore a tunnel back in there and you're totally unaware of it. All right? But anyway, get yourself an EpiPen. Have it prescribed. They are expensive, but that's better than, what are some of the signs and symptoms of an allergic or anaphylactic reaction?
Probably most common is probably going to be difficulty breathing, your bronchioles constrict, your veins actually, they dilate, so your blood pressure goes down. You may actually end up getting dizzy or lightheaded. You could even pass out from it.
Okay. You also start getting hives. Your throat starts getting tight because it's swelling up, okay? Sooner or later it's going to cut off the oxygen flow because it's going to swell up so much that you're not going to be able to pass air. So then what happens? You go into respiratory arrest, then you go into cardiac arrest. So it's important. I would recommend you get an EpiPen because you never know when something like that's going to happen. So if you get that, the other thing that you can do, stop by the drugstore, get you some over-the-counter Benadryl, because those are the things that we use on the ambulance in an emergency situation when an allergic reaction is happening. We give them epinephrine, which is what you're going to get out of the EpiPen. We also give them Benadryl, okay, 25 to 50 milligrams of Benadryl. You can get that over the counter. And of course the other thing that we give them is a steroid, but that's something that's much longer acting, okay? You can get by with the Benadryl and the EpiPen. So for hikers, campers, my suggestion, get you one of those, could save your life. Because beef Polish sausage, a little barbecue sauce, Brussels sprouts, red bell pepper, and some onion. Guaranteed to make your tongue slap your brains out. Won't be a whole lot of talking, there'll be a whole lot of eating. We wanted to bring that to you with the other series that we had. We hope that this information helps you. We appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. You know, you can also find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. We're all under the name Smoky Mountain
I
Outpost.
think we covered it pretty well for a basic knowledge of going out to be out in the woods.
Just some simple things that you all can do that may save your life, may save a limb. Or your partner, if you're with them, maybe you can assist them and help them out. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and call this a wrap. We look forward to seeing you at the Outpost in the future.